success is showing up. That's what Woody Allen said. So you've already done a lot of your success. Okay, my topic today is the wow factor and how to say yes to change. My name is Ruth Stuettgen, and I'm a Reiki therapist, I'm a quit cigarette therapist, and I'm also an empowerment coach. I've been in business already for over 23 years doing various things. I have an educational background, being a teacher, and I also used to be in the police force many, many years ago. And about in 2005, that's when I set up my business Focus on Balance, and this is what I do now. And I empower women to make a change. So that's what the topic is all about. So the wow factor, how you say yes to change. So welcome and thanks for coming today. And before we start, just make sure that your mobile phones are switched off or on vibrate, or so that you don't get distracted by it. And today, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about change, and I'm going to tell you what that is, what it could mean for you, why you would want to change, and also how you can change it. Okay? So why are you here today? All right? I don't think there are any coincidences in life. There's always a reason for you to be here today. So have you been feeling like you're on a quest? Have you been searching for answers in life, wanting to know what the meaning of life is? And have you been feeling stuck in a miserable situation? Come in.
Hi.
Hello. How are you? I'm Ruth.
Hi, Ruth. I'm Ruth.
So we've just started. So I was just explaining to the group that's the audience. Sorry. That's the topic that I'm talking about is the wow factor. How you say yes to change.
The wow?
Wow.
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 Okay.
Yes. Yes, the wow factor. Yes. Put it on silent or vibrate.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. And I'm going to explain to talk about why people might want to change, what it is, and how we can change that. Okay. So thank you for being here today. So have you been feeling stuck or miserable in your life, or have you been searching for that particular answer and you just can't find it? You might have been going through a few things in your life. A few things might have been happening for you. You might have been in a miserable relationship, or have you been feeling unsafe in that relationship and you don't know how to get out? You're looking for those answers. All those questions you want answered. Have you been feeling depressed or anxious about anything, about things that have been happening in your life? And you feel that life is passing you by. Have you been wanting to lead a healthier life? Yeah, a lot of us maybe want to do that, but you can't get motivated, or you've been searching for that person to help you change. So right now, I would like to invite you in this space today. If you've got any troubles whatsoever, just imagine you've got a little box in your hand. It can be black, any other colour. And get all those troubles out of your body, your system, and put it into that box. Put the lid on it. Take it outside, out the door. Leave it outside. And then in your mind, you come back to your chair and you just be present. Okay? Just be here and listen. Because you're here for a reason. You may not know the reason yet, but it will come to you eventually down the track. So just enjoy. Okay. So it's a safe space, and with like-minded women and men in the room for the next 30 minutes at least. So just imagine if you could change your life. What would it feel like to you? What would it look like? Who would you be with, and where would you be? Just imagine that. Make it as colourful as you like. Who are you with? What sounds are there? What can you hear? Anything you want. just the perfect life if you changed it. If you said yes to that change, bring some movement into it as well. You may have been wondering why I'm standing up here today. What qualifies me to stand up here today and talk to you about how to change? I can tell you why, because I've been in a similar situation. I've been looking for answers in my life as well, and I've had some pretty miserable things happen to me where I've asked, what the hell is going on? You know, been rock bottom, believe me. If I told you what happened, you wouldn't want to know it. So anyway, I was asking myself why I was suffering like this, why I had to go through it, why not someone else. And about 2 years ago, I picked up that courage. I was stuck in a miserable relationship. After 23 years of marriage, I left. It was a violent one. Took my kids, I packed up, and I just left the situation. And I haven't looked back. I've been riding the waves of change. But I got to the other side, and it took a long time to get there. I had to go through a lot of things. And I got up and I dusted myself off and I said a big yes to change. And it's been working. So hopefully I can stand up. That's why I'm here today, is to stand up here and to cheer. If you're here today because you're looking for that change, to cheer you on, to encourage you, from whatever situation that you're here, that you've come from. Okay? So not so long ago I had something happen to me where I thought I'd lost the control, and because since I left my previous relationship and I was going through quite a rough time and I had to do all these things on my own, be a single mum and so on, and I felt like I'd absolutely lost the control. And then something happened where I'm a bit of an anti-television freak. I don't watch TV, I don't listen to the radio, I hate electronic games, so when my kids play it I go all funny. And they don't like it, of course. So one day I remember I went to the shops and I had to go, and I didn't want them to watch TV while I was gone, so I grabbed the remote control and I just stuck it up somewhere, hid it somewhere, and then forgot about it. So I left, and then a while after, some weeks after, I couldn't find it. I didn't know where it was. I could not, for the life of me, remember where I put the remote control. So I had a frantic search, and then forgot about that. I gave up looking, gave up searching, and sometime later, some weeks later, I was on the phone to my sister and was making myself a cup of tea at the same time, and reached up into the pantry, and lo and behold, there was remote control. So I stuck it somewhere up the top of the pantry and I couldn't remember where it was. So for me that was just, I felt like I was back in control again because I'd found it. But the moral of the story at the time for me was I was going through all that. I was trying to manage everything on my own, a lot of micromanaging. I didn't want to give the reins over to everyone, and by losing the control, and I started searching, wanted to find it, and then I stopped searching. I just let it go, and that's when I found it. And I feel that in life it's like that too sometimes, where when you're going through a rough patch, just let it go for a while, and then you'll find the control again. So, okay. So, the meaning of the wow factor and how you can say yes to change. In the Oxford Dictionary, wow means to impress or to express astonishment or admiration, a sensational success, and to impress or excite someone greatly. For me, I've made up this acronym for WOW, and it stands for Women of Wisdom, because I believe in each woman there is this wisdom, innate wisdom. So we can go out there and we can change the world. We can change ourselves. And just today I had a man come up to me and he said, I think women should be leading the world, not men. So there you go. I agreed with him. Wouldn't you? And for the men in the room, of course, you're also included in that wow, because men is in the word women. So we can't leave the men out, can we? And yeah, so that's what wow means. And then to change means to make something different or to become different. So you can change your situation, you can change your circumstances and the way you think and the way you are. And to empower means to give that power to someone, to change, to make something different, to allow and to influence someone. Okay? So I've had a look at the World Health Organization, their statistics that they create or that they collect over the years. And more women, it says more women are susceptible to depression and anxiety than men. And that depression is the leading cause of disease burdens for women. So possibly because we're always, I'm thinking about myself, I suppose not every woman is the same. Possibly because we tend to build up anxiety and unhappiness in us, and then it just causes disease. Then we also have 35% of women worldwide that are actually in some time in their lives they're victims of violence by intimate partners. So 35%, that's quite an alarming number. And in Australia, here at home, 1 in 5 women are experiencing or will have experienced violence in their life at any point of time. And that is not just in low-income families, that's all across the board. That's low-income, high-income countries and families as well, so low to high income, middle income as well. So sometimes women are also seen, though, to be more open to change than men. I don't know whether you've experienced that or whether you've noticed that, but at some point, maybe around the 40s, late 30s, that women tend to want to change because they're at that point where they're asking all those questions and they want to improve their lives. We ask ourselves how we ride the wave of despair, how we can get out on the other side, how we can stay above the water, how we can survive to come out on the top. And for each of us, that would be different because we are on different journeys, and you will have a different journey, you will have a different journey to what mine is, and so will you. Okay, so we're all different, so there's no right answer for everyone. I think back again to a childhood experience that when I think about it now, still it makes me very emotional, and it has impacted me very positively and also negatively because I'm still reliving it sometimes. Many moons ago, I remember I grew up in South Africa and my family went on a holiday with lots of friends. So we were travelling in a convoy. And I wasn't travelling in my parents' car, I was in one of their friends' cars. And we stopped at a petrol station for a toilet stop and petrol and so on. And I went to the toilet and I was sitting there contemplating on life. And all of a sudden this ominous sound of the door locking, the door being locked of the toilet block. And no amount of frantic screaming or shouting, I suppose, could make that person hear that I was actually still in there. So I had no option but to stay in the toilet. No one could hear me, and I could hear the cars starting up, driving off. And even talking about it now makes me emotional, so it must have impacted me in a really strong way. And yeah, so I just had to wait it out. I couldn't do anything, there was no one. They must have blocked it during the lunchtime break. So I waited it out. I don't know how long. It felt like a lifetime, but it, I was, I think, around 10 years old or something. And I sat there and I waited, and eventually the doors opened again. So I think my parents would have driven a distance, and then they would have realised that I wasn't there. They thought I was in the other car, and the friends thought that I was back in their car. So that's what happened, and they came back and they collected me, and I can't remember how I would have reacted, but I suppose I would have been pretty distressed at the time. Now fast forward to my life now as an adult, and when things like that happen, the doors open. The doors to change open for me. Those doors are unlocked and they're opened wide, and I embrace it. I smiled through my tears, though my heart was aching, and I said yes to change. So just imagine if you could do that today as well. If you could do that right here and now. If you could have those doors open up for you and embrace the change that you want in your life and say yes to change. Okay, so now you know why you want to change. You haven't told me, but you've figured it out in your mind. You know what change is, and I would like to show you how we can become practical. I want to show you how we could do that here. And by the way, I've found that even though you don't know how to change, you can change by saying yes. That very first step of saying yes already opens up the doors. I told you came a little bit late, but the people that came in earlier, 80% of success is just showing up. So for whatever reason you're here today, that 80% you're part of. Okay, and it's part of your success. So can I ask someone to just help me out a little bit? We're going to do an exercise on change. You don't have to. You will walk out a similar person. You will look the same when you walk out, but you might feel different. So would you like to come up? Yeah, please do.
I've got my shoes on though.
Oh, that's okay. All right, so I've got an exercise here. It's called hi, what's your name?
Jane.
Jane, hi. We're going to be talking about the Wheel of Life. Have you ever heard of that? Anyone here heard of that? What the Wheel of Life is? Okay. It's basically just our life is a circle, and we've got different segments in there, different aspects. So the Wheel of Life, it just means it's round, okay? Or anything for those people that are visual. And we're going to divide our life up into 8 segments. Now, there's usually, you can do this on any part of your life, right? So we're going to divide it up into 8. And we're going to, sorry, that's not quite right, but is it 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. And we're going to name each segment. Okay, so in the Wheel of Life, for example, we've got here the physical environment. Okay, and then we've got one segment, thank you. We've got another segment called career, and the next one is money and health. Then the next one is friends and family, and then we've got one significant other or romance. So significant other, husband, wife, partner. Romance, yeah, the partner. And the last one is personal growth. Okay, so in the Wheel of Life, those are the segments that we've chosen. Now you can choose any other. You can choose, for example, in management, in your job, you can choose something like that. So you can choose different parts of your career.
What
Personal growth, fun and recreation. Sorry. Thank you. And then each segment will just divide up into 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more there.
10. Okay. So for each section we'll do that. So you can see here the wheel is normally fairly round, right? And that's how our life should be. It should be fairly balanced so that our life can go on nice and balanced and even and so on. We'd like your career to be like then, to the sector. How would you like it to be in one sentence? What would be one of the first steps for you to improve your career prospects?
Oh, change my workplace.
You want to change your workplace?
Yeah.
Okay.
The environment.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how would you go about doing that?
Well, have the courage to make it happen, probably.
Yes. And would you say you have the courage by showing up here today?
I have the courage, yeah.
Yeah. Say that again.
I have the courage, yes. I do definitely have the courage.
Good, wonderful. So, what would be one other step that you could do this week to change? And remember, we're going to hold you accountable. You came in here with a friend today, and she's going to hold you accountable for that step.
Well, to yes, I know exactly what I have to do.
Okay, would you like to share that with us?
Well, go and see for some courses that will get me to where I want to go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now it's out in the open, it's public, right?
Yeah.
So you will be held accountable by your friend. She's going to follow up on that by Thursday to see whether you've done it.
Oh, yeah, it's funny.
And once you've done that first step, you will feel already a lot better as well. Okay?
Yeah. I had booked into doing a course and it fell through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so there you can see what we've done is we've assessed where she's at, and we've put some systems into place, and that's what happens when you work with a coach. You're held accountable. You're in the driver's seat of your life. Okay, so you have to step up and say, hang on, yes, I want to change, and let's do it. And these are the steps. This is my goal. I want to be there. And go from there and put many steps in place. Right? Now I'll hand out some sheets as well at the end of the session. Okay? Then you can do that at home for yourself. And this is a bit more. It's more explanatory. It's typed up for you, and down the bottom there's a little explanation of how to do it. All right? So feel free to come and have that. Okay, so now we've spoken about what change is, how you want to change, and how you can change. Do you have any other questions? Do you have any questions to what we've just done before, or any other questions in general?
How do you get yourself out of the situation you're in to make it happen? Like, to change is okay, you can say, I will change.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's very hard to implement it to every day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, there are lots of different ways. If you've got a support network, then you can, you can speak to other people. You can speak to your friends, or if you have a person that you can confide in, you can work with that person together. You can have a look what there is, what options there are to change. You can perhaps, one of the good things that you can do is sitting down and maybe make some goals, write a goal sheet. Does anyone here in the room have goals? Yeah? One of the men that we have in the room has goals, yes? Anyone else? I have. Do you write them down?
I have goals, but I don't write them down.
Okay, a lot of people don't write their goals down, and there was actually a study that they did years ago at Harvard University where they studied the people that wrote their goals down and people that didn't write their goals down, and then they followed up many years later, and the people that wrote their goals down, they actually their goals became realized. Their goals were realized, whereas the ones that didn't, their goals were mostly not realized. Now, I didn't always write my goals down. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. So, that might be one of the steps that you can take to make you feel accountable, to have a look at those goals on a regular basis. You can do it once a day, twice a day, once a week, whatever, whatever feels comfortable for you, for yourself. So that could be a one step. And find a support network.
I do have it's up to yourself to implement, I think, and sometimes you step back instead of forward.
Growth sometimes does that, and you might think that you're not stepping forward because we look at it differently, but and your life, your journey sometimes takes you back before you one step back or two steps back and then one step forward and so on. For you to grow, to make changes or to grow in your journey. I had that happen to me too. I thought, I can't take this anymore. I was rock bottom. But that my journey led me to stand here today because I know it's doable. Does that answer your question? Yeah? Baby steps sometimes. Have your big picture in mind. Have it up there. And then take baby steps. What can you do? Like Jane's going to find out about courses. And then once you get that success, then it gives you the incentive to make some more.
Do you think when we want change, we want it, but we're too scared for it, so we stop ourselves?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That ego steps in quite often. With that little voice in our head says, no, you can't do it. Don't do it. You're not worthy of it or anything like that, No one's ever done it before. Lots of voices. I hear them lots of times. Okay, so, and the pride, the pride is one thing too. Because I was very proud. I was very proud of, I wouldn't say I was very proud. I had lots of pride. I had too much pride to make that change, or to recognize that there was something wrong, that there was something not quite right with me, or with my situation, that is. I had something happen, something that comes to my mind now. I bought myself an iPad when I moved out, and the kids are allowed to use it as well. And then I didn't have a cover for the iPad, and my son, when he went to his dad's house one weekend, he came back with his iPad cover. So obviously he'd gone and said, Mummy doesn't have an iPad cover, blah, blah, blah. And came back with it, and I was furious because I thought, how dare you go and buy some things for my equipment? And I sent him this message, and I'm going to send it back to you, and, I'm not going to use it. And I didn't want to allow the kids to use it either. It was my pride. I didn't want to accept things from him. Not so long after that, because I didn't allow the children to use the cover, my son used it one day when we were out and about, and the next day the thing was cracked. So I cracked it, in a way. And, it wasn't my son's fault, it wasn't my ex-husband's fault, but, I had the need for it, but I was too proud, or I had too much pride to recognize it. So sometimes in life you just have to step back and say, just accept that help when people offer it. Right, okay, so that brings us really to the end of this talk, this presentation. I'd like to thank you for being here today, for coming and for showing up and for taking part. Jane, thank you again. So if you're interested in working with me, I do have several programs that you can implement. And we do have special offers available today because of the festival. So you can come up to me afterwards and we can have a look at that. And I also do quit cigarettes in 60 minutes. That's one of my programs that I offer as well. So if you're ready to make that change, that's good. You've made that decision. You might not be ready to make that change. That's okay too, because we're all on different journeys. Okay? You might not be ready today, but you might be ready tomorrow or next week or something when you go away from here and let it all sink in. Or you might just say, it's all just crap, it's fairy dust and things like that. So You might also be the catalyst for someone else to change. You might know of someone who wants to change, and so by all means feel free to take a business card and one of my the fee schedules so that you can pass that on. Okay. Now I'd like to leave you with a quote that I find very inspiring for myself, and it's written by Gwenda Mayer, and it's trust yourself, create the kind of self that you will be happy with all your life, make the most of your inner self, of yourself, by fanning the inner sparks of possibility into the flames of achievement. So thank you for being here today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the festival. How about you?
Thank you very much.